Imagine holding a card that opens up a world of opportunities for you, whether it be financially or it be socially. For millions, the green card for the United States is the first step into opening up many possibilities for them and for having a brighter future. Now, if you are not familiar with the process, it can seem like a maze of paperwork, requirements, and jargons that you have no idea what they entail. And bearing in mind that if you make one mistake, it can cause the entire process to be delayed, more costly, or even rejected. But not to worry. I am here to assist you today as another step in the immigration series to get yourself documented and legally authorized to be in the United States. I am going to be taking you on a step-by-step guide throughout the process of applying for your I-130, including the pitfalls that you are to avoid and ways that you can expedite your process so that you can avoid those lengthy delays and costly mistakes. So, stay tuned. Welcome back to the Next Level Life Hacks, where we take the next steps needed to grow towards our financial freedom and success. Now, there are different categories of green card, and depending on which area you fall into, then the instructions are going to be right here for you to get. Bear in mind as well, if you are hesitant or you are nervous or you need some assistance or just someone to hold your hand and guide you through the process, we have that resource available for you. So check in the description box for the consulting agency that I used and was able to have all my immigration processes successfully completed for my entire family in a timely manner and at a most affordable cost, because this resource is a foundation as opposed to a law firm, and it therefore means that their costs are much lower. Now, the first category of green card is the family-based green card, and this is the most popular one. Now, a family-based green card is available to persons who have close relatives who are either a US citizen or a permanent resident within the United States. Now, needless to say, if the close relative is a US citizen, the process is easier and tends to go much faster than if the person was a permanent resident. A permanent resident is, for example, what you are trying to become if you are applying for a green card. But after getting the green card, then your next step is to become a citizen. Not to worry, I've got you covered as well, because a subsequent video is going to cover how do you move from the green card to becoming a citizen, because becoming a citizen allows you to have much more benefits and allows you to be more secure within the United States. Now, there are two categories that can file for the green card. You have to either be one, an immediate relative, and immediate relatives would include whether you're a spouse or if you are an unmarried child under 21 of one of these persons, the US citizen or the permanent resident. But also bear in mind that parents of US citizens will get priority. As a matter of fact, up to the time of making this video, permanent residents are not able to file for their parents. Only a citizen can. And that is why I said if you're a permanent resident with a green card, you need to take the other step to be more secure and have more benefits by becoming a citizen. The next category that you would need to be in is to be a family preference category. In this category, you would have to be either the siblings of the person, or you would have to be an unmarried child of the US citizen, or you could be certain relatives of the permanent resident. Now, you have to bear in mind that these categories tend to have a much longer waiting period. So, for example, if you are a sibling, especially over 21, your waiting period could be 10 to 15 years. The next category is what is known as an employment-based green card. And this is normally referred to as an employer sponsoring an employee. To qualify for this program, or to be highly considered rather for this program, you would have to be someone who is skilled in a highly specialized area, because that's going to be a main consideration to be qualified for this sector. Now, there are different categories under the employment-based green card, and it's really EB1, employment-based for the EB, then there are categories 1, 2, and 3. EB1 is a priority for those with extraordinary abilities. Outstanding professors or multinational executives fall under this category. Now, EB2 would be persons who have advanced degrees or exceptional skills while EB3, which is the lowest category, would be for skilled workers, professionals, and other workers would fall under this category. But because EB3 is so saturated and most persons fall into this category who are trying, then it is the area of highest demand, and it is therefore not a category that gets a lot of approvals for. Now, the third category is known as the Diversity Visa Lottery Program. A lot of persons are not even aware that this exists. Now, what it is that every year the US grants immigration visas to a certain amount of persons from countries that would not usually have a high immigration to the United States on a lottery basis. And all it requires is that persons apply for this lottery, and if you are selected, then you are fast-tracked through an immigration visa. You didn't know it exists now, did you? Of course, Jamaica is not going to be on this because that's the first place I looked for to tell my other Jamaicans that, hey, this is available. But no, Jamaica is one of the places that has a high amount of immigration to the United States, so they are exempted or they are not allowed into this lottery program. Now, based on my research, it is approximately 55,000 visas that are issued under this program every year for persons to get their immigrant visas. Now, I know you're going to ask me then, hey, what are the countries that are allowed this lottery? I'll go through them because I did the research for you. The first one is Africa, the second is Asia, the third is Europe, the fourth is Oceania, and you might say, what is Oceania? This is like Australia, Fiji, those places. The next is North America, and when they say North America, they are really referring here to the Bahamas. And the last one is South America, Central America, and the Caribbean. As I said, Jamaica is not included, and I did not see Haiti as well. But under here, you'll have places like Argentina, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, and the Grenadines, and other places. So if you are from any one of the countries that I have mentioned, you can apply for the lottery, and you might very well be one of the 55,000 that is selected each year. Remember as well, though, that the number or the total amount can change year by year. The fourth category for the green card is known as the Asylum and Refugee Status Program. And this is where if you are facing persecution in your home country, whether it be due to religion, politics, sexual orientation, then if you are under threat of violence, you can apply to be an asylum or a refugee within the United States. Now, the policy is that after living in the United States for 1 year as an asylee or a refugee, you can apply for the green card. So therefore, if you, viewer, you have been here for at least 1 year under this status, it's time to apply for your green card. The last category is known as the investment-based green card. And this is where business owners, once you are able to save the job of at least 10 persons or to create a job for at least 10 persons within the US, then you can be granted a green card. But you have to have the resources for this category because it usually requires you investing anywhere from $900,000 up to $1.8 million US dollars in any business or industry that will have you approved for this category of visa. Now, how do you apply for the green card? Because we're going to be going over that quickly as well. First is that you need to determine which area you are eligible for. And once you have determined that you are eligible for whichever one of the categories, then you need to take the following steps. You need to first file a petition for your green card. Now, for the family-based category, you're going to file the I-130. And if it is for employment, you're going to file the I-140. So I-130 as opposed to I-140. Don't worry, just rewind and just write as you go along. If you're applying for the diversity visa, you would not complete any of these forms. You would just apply for the lottery, then wait to see if you have been selected. Now, after you file the I-130 or the I-140, you wait to see if you have been approved. You might get notifications that other documentation is needed, and that is why I say it is best to do it properly from the beginning. Or if it is that they doubt the information or they want to see more information, they might do what is known as an RFI, which is a request for information. And all you have to do is to supply the additional information in a timely manner, because you do receive a deadline. Make sure you meet that deadline or your application can be rejected. Now, if it is that your I-130 or I-140 is approved, then you need to submit a visa application. Now, listen carefully, because this is where I messed up when I did it on my own before going to the consultation agency that I have put in the description box. If your petition is approved and you are in the United States, there is no need for you to go back home to submit the visa application. The only thing you need to do is to apply for a change of status, which is known as the I-485. Now, you do have to satisfy that you have been within the United States for at least 90 days and that your original intention was not to stay in the United States to have your visa application submitted. And that can easily well be proven. But file the I-485, because invariably it gets processed much faster if the person is in the United States as opposed to going back to the home country. Now, if the person was never in the United States, say you never had a visitor's visa, so the process is really being done with you living outside of the country, then you would apply for the visa through the home country's consulate. So remember, I cannot stress it enough, if you are in the United States for at least 90 days and the petition has been approved, file the I-485. That is just an adjustment of status, meaning that you are adjusting your status from being a visitor to now to being an immigrant or a permanent resident. So you do not have to leave, and especially if you are in a family structure, you will not have to be separated from your family to go back home. But there are different documents that I would advise that you file at once with the I-485. As a matter of fact, if you are in the United States and the person is filing the I-130 or I-140 for you, it is best that they file the entire thing together. That is the I-130 or the I-140 along with the I-485, so that everything gets submitted at the same time, so everything is processed at the same time. Now, follow me carefully. Get your notepad. If it is that you are filing for the I-485, you also want to file what is known as the I-765, which is your application for work authorization. Your other document that you want to file is your I-131, and this is your travel authorization. So you know the I-485 might take a while to be approved. The I-131 is sometimes approved before the I-485 comes through, so that therefore if you want to run home to your home country for any emergencies, then you can travel. Many persons, though, they tend to not want to travel because, hey, if you leave the country, then the I-485 is rejected, then you might have serious problems getting back into the country. So some persons just wait, but it's good to have just in case you have an emergency that you have to rush home for. Your other document is your I-864, which is your affidavit of support, because someone has to show that they are able to financially support you while you're in the United States, while you're getting your footing. If it is that one person cannot meet the obligation or the requirement of the minimal amount, then more than one person can put in that affidavit to show that, hey, you have the financial support and you're not coming in to be a burden to the state or to the federal government. The other two documents are known as the I-693 and the G325A, which are really the biometric and your medical report that will need to be submitted, or best to be submitted immediately, so that it does not delay the process. And that's it. It might sound complicated, but it really is not, especially if you are dealing with someone who knows what they are doing, or if you just create your online account, it really brings you step by step through the process. But hey, it is worth the time, it is worth the investment, so that you can be legally authorized to be in the United States and to have the world of opportunities available and open to you. Now, it's not yet done, because once you get that green card, it's time to move to the next step, which is to become a citizen. Now, there are some requirements that you have to satisfy before you can apply for your citizenship, but I know that some of you have had your green card for an extended period and just could not bother to go through the process for the citizenship because you think it is too costly, or you don't want to, or you think you cannot pass that test, the civic test. But hey, not to worry. My next video is going to be covering that as well, and to give you the assistance you need, because as immigrants, we need to become all legally authorized and to maximize the benefits that we can get in this first world country. Now, as usual, my friends, thank you for spending the time with me. I hope this information was beneficial to you. And if you know of anyone else that might benefit from this information, please share the video with them, as well as I need you to watch the next videos that are on the end screen so that we can all grow towards our financial success. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.